Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sabrina and I always get a hair in my eye when I hit the play button. I am a shamanic witch and I'm here today to talk to you about head work. I have been making videos recently about how to use your mind. I've only really made videos with 2 spells that I have done specifically to work with someone's mind, and that's called head work. One of them was working with the head directly, and the other one was indirectly through the making of a doll. I want to explain to you what head work really is and why I feel it is the most direct, probably the best way to really work with any kind of an issue. If you are new to magic, if you are here out of curiosity, I have to make this disclaimer right now. There might be something in this video that you would not feel comfortable doing. And if you're afraid of possibly harming someone, you object to anything of women wielding power to protect themselves, then I have to ask you to click away at this time. We do not need to suffer any negative comments of any kind. A lot of women are being targeted and harassed and bullied and subjected to a lot of problems because they are alone. And people know that they're either a man or there's somebody else, there's more than one player in the situation, and the woman is alone, and they know it. Whether you have a relative who comes around or not, you don't necessarily have someone who's living with you on a regular basis. Now, the principle of head work is working with thoughts. And when you understand that everything begins with the thought, and if you don't understand that yet, then you might have trouble with this. But you have to understand everything starts with a thought. The emotions follow almost instantaneously, so it's difficult to differentiate between the two. Now, in my spell about how to stop an unknown harasser with a nutmeg, I not only didn't know the person, but I didn't know what to do. I was beside myself at that time. I had read a story in a book about a voodoo doll someone got from Africa, and then she just made some mumbo-jumbo statements literally and threw it at her husband, but that had probably already been fashioned by someone who was practiced in magic. A doll that you would fashion in magic is called a poppet. Now, in traditional witchcraft, those are used for healing, as we would say. Now, when you're going to use it for nefarious cases, you're still going to be using it really for healing. You're going to eliminate stress. You're going to solve a problem with someone who's causing you aggravation or threats. You're protecting yourself, okay? So this is protection magic. I'm going to leave a link to my video on how I stopped an unknown harasser with a nutmeg. Now, this is why I say that money is not the ultimate power. When your back is against the wall and you know law enforcement cannot do anything to help you, in fact, the tables might have been turned and you're now being accused by management or whatever as, being told that you could be looked at as a harasser when all you're doing is trying to follow up with another issue but they aren't doing anything. Then you have to close your mouth and realize that now law enforcement isn't helping, management isn't helping, the owner isn't helping, you know, and I can't leave right now. So I have to either turn to a magical practitioner or I have to learn to do something on my own. This will probably open up a whole new world to you, as it did to me. I had just been working prosperity magics at my altar when I decided to do that spell one day because I just had to do something. That's when I found out that I had reached a level after many years of meditation and affirmations that, well, I had also met, you know, my guardian spirit in a meditation, but I was really just at the point where I had developed an incredible ability to focus and direct my thoughts. And that's what we are doing with this protection magics. And there's several different things that you can use. Now the other spell I talked about was tarot, using tarot cards and then adding a crystal to aid you. So that's another spell that you can go and look at on one of my videos. What's it called? I'll have to leave you the link. Okay, so my battery's running low, of course. It's late at night. I've been playing with my makeup. Whoops! So now you can fashion a doll out of Play-Doh. This is from the dollar store. It's not very pliable, and I had to use a lot of water and work with it for about 15 minutes. But then I just laid it on a table, and then I molded a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. Now here's the part that some people might object to. This is creating a little phallus if you're working with a male. You want to affect the life force energy. And I did this recently in a working, a little over 2 months ago. I don't know how much of an effect it really had. It did apparently protect my friend, but he went after her animals. So I didn't think about that. So now the other thing is the poppet. Now, if you are determined enough to do something, you will go get an old shirt, an old sheet, a curtain. You know, I've got one right now that's been ruined by the fingernails of my cats. So it wasn't a matching curtain anyway. I got new curtains today. And you'll cut that, and then really all you have to do is get something to go into the inside of this fabric where you're going to make a head. And you get a rubber band and you put a rubber band around it so it looks like a ghost at first, right? Then you're going to take another rubber band. There's no sewing and no gluing involved. While you're doing this, okay, if this is something that's been going on for months, you are emoting through your hands. Your hand is your wand. You're emoting through your hands. And you're taking, you know, 2 hands, 2 arms, and you're making a little rubber band around there to make 2 arms. Okay? And you're going to need a bigger cloth, and you're going to need, or bigger paper towels. And then you're going to have 2 legs. Okay? Now, when I have done this, you know, I've been working, just like in my Nutmeg spell, I was putting out all my emotions and saying, I fashion this doll to you, I name you such and such, and I now have charge over you. And you can even baptize a little doll in water, and you say, now I name you such and such, so and so, and I have charge over you. You do as I say, right? And if you were had enough money to buy like a do as I say oil, you use that as a tool and you add that. It literally says do as I say. And you put that on there and you say, you do as I say now. You stop talking to me. You stop harassing me. You stop coming onto my property. And whatever else it is that you think they might be doing, you pull their little hands and arms around their back. So they're feeling bound. Now, you can even wrap yarn or thread around their little hands behind their back. if you know there's any other kind of illegal activities going on, to encourage them to get arrested. Guys, I have done this. I've had 3 people get arrested, maybe 4. I think it's been 4. Yeah. Then I would take yarn or thread and go all the way around the body, going widdershins to the left, right, counterclockwise. You're going to bind that person all around their body, down to their knees, down to their legs, down to their ankles, while you are emoting what it is that you want them to do. And you can also include move away. Now, you write their name on the doll, or you write it on a piece of paper and pin it to the doll. Now, in the head, you want to be able to write, again, what it is that you want, because you want to influence that head as well. You can write their address or where they work, or, be specific as you can. Put a piece of paper in the head if you've made fabric, and write on a piece of paper what you want them to do, whether it is to stop talking to you, stop talking bad about you, to sell their house and move away. Sometimes just throwing back black salt is not enough. I've had to use a combination of things to finally get somebody thrown out of their residence. And now in 2 circumstances, it was really time for me to move away as well. So I moved away, and then either a dream I had manifested where they had to move, or I found out that they finally got evicted. So, you don't necessarily have to leave. I was able to leave, so I did. And you want to keep that out. Generally, you want to keep it out where you can see it if this is new to you. Now, I put mine in a drawer. I called a magical drawer, where I had all of my incense and oils and herbs and all that. I also put it in a bag, a drawstring bag, and I tied it. Now, the second time that I remembered doing this, a neighbor had been coming on my property, and as soon as I did, his mother started arranging dates for him, and he was dating women, and then he found a woman, and then they were spending time together, and then she got pregnant. He was busy with his own life, and too busy to be, coming onto my property anymore for any reason. So, yeah, his ideas about getting together with me, and I never encouraged it at all. In fact, all I ever did was yell at him to get off my property. Quit coming on to my yard, right? This is not the park. Don't come over here to play ball in my yard with your son, or remote control car in my driveway. He was trying to get with me. So, yeah, very stubborn. And these are the types of people that you're going to have to really exert your will, release your will. And, a lot of times, like I said, this will happen as a last resort. You don't know what else to do, and then you find out that it actually has some effect. Don't be surprised if it does. It could take a couple of months for this to work. You might also have to write a letter to senior management or the owner of the property. And it's a good idea to work both mundanely as well as magically. But as far as law enforcement, if they're not helping you and there's nothing they can do, forget about that. Be patient, and remember to pour all of your frustrations into that magic that you have performed, either the doll or the Play-Doh. Now, the Play-Doh doll with the little phallus, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, even though you have it erect, you can put a pin in the top of it to try to affect their life force energy, to make them weaker. Also, nutmeg, it's amazing. Sprinkle nutmeg on the head of that Play-Doh doll, and sprinkle nutmeg on the inside of that fabric doll that you have made, especially if you are new, if you're a beginner, if you're not intermediate or advanced. Okay? So I spent a lot of time getting ready this evening, and now my phone's probably going to die in just a minute. But I hope you're having a good summer. I've been incredibly busy. It's a good busy. I've had people coming to me to spend time with me. I help them and then they help me. And it's been a wonderful interaction. But yeah, it's been keeping me away from really making my weekly videos. Oh, well, there's my eyelash coming off now, so there we go. Oh, that's my cue, everybody. Well, you have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will see you on the next video.